depend on who you talk to.
Well, they recognize in this country.
Depends on who you talk to. Whoopi, always available to sign in. Not only is that the worst clip in the history of The View, that is the worst clip in the history of television. Like, all of television history. But you notice, I mean, what she says there is not just stupid, by the way, it's despicable. When she says the Holocaust is basically just flatten it out, it's just about man's inhumanity and man. It's like just when the...
Ever seen a bunch of TV hosts get their butts handed to them? Well, you're in for a treat. Ben Shapiro just walked onto The View and turned it into the roast. These hosts thought they were gonna give Ben a hard time, but boy, were they wrong. Watch as he takes their arguments apart faster than you can say fake news. It's like watching a chess master play against a bunch of pigeons. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright folks, let's talk about the time Ben Shapiro walked into the lion's den, also known as The View.
We go through some of the cringiest moments from The View, a repository of nearly all human stupidity.
It depends on who you talk to.
Well, they recognize in this country.
Depends on who you talk to. Whoopi, always available to sign in.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Picture this. Little Ben, looking all innocent and naive, steps onto that set like he's about to get eaten alive. The hosts? They're grinning like they've just won the lottery. Poor Ben, right? Wrong. So Whoopi starts grilling Ben about his latest book. She's got that look in her eye, you know the one, like she's about to serve him up for lunch. And Ben, he's just nodding along, looking all confused and overwhelmed. But don't be fooled, people. That big brain of his is working overtime. The other hosts start piling on, thinking they've got him cornered.
She's trying to make an anti-Trump argument. She's like, I can say anything I want. And she's like, I'm going to say something super racist. They're all like, oh,
that, not Israel, but Hamas and the Taliban, that
depends on who you talk to.
Right. Well, I mean, that's how they're recognized.
Apparently, her hair was not her only bad decision that day.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
Joy Behar's throwing zingers left and right. Sonny Hostin's bringing out the legal jargon, and Meghan McCain's trying to out-conservative him. It's like watching a bunch of cats playing with a mouse, except this mouse has a secret superpower. It's called facts. But here's the kicker. Ben's starting to smile. It's subtle at first, just a little twitch at the corner of his mouth. The hosts are too busy high-fiving each other to notice. They think they've won the battle, but Benny Boy's about to win the war.
It's not about race.
It's about a different race.
But it's not about race.
Being on a foreign committee and comparing the country to a known terror, those are organized terrorist communities.
It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
No!
You see, while the ladies of The View were busy patting themselves on the back, Ben was setting up his verbal chessboard. He wasn't cornered. He was exactly where he wanted to be. It's like he was playing possum the whole time, just waiting for the right moment to strike. And strike he did. Just when the hosts thought they had him on the ropes, Ben unleashed his secret weapon. Cold, hard facts. Suddenly, those smug grins started to fade. Whoopi's eyebrows shot up so high they nearly left her forehead. Joy's jaw dropped faster than Trump's approval ratings. And Meghan? She looked like she'd just seen a ghost. The ghost of her conservative arguments passed.
But it's about white supremacy. It's about
it's not about
ideal race.
But these are two white groups of people.
She has maybe way more knowledge and experience in the very complicated Middle Eastern relations.
Not only is that the worst clip in the history of The View, that is the worst clip in the history of television. Like, all of television history.
But here's the real genius of Ben's strategy. He didn't just argue, he educated. He turned The View into his personal TED Talk, dropping knowledge bombs left and right. The host tried to interrupt, but it was like trying to stop a runaway train with a feather. Ben was on a roll, and there was no stopping him.
The Holocaust was not about race? Ask the Nazis. Well, ladies of The View, they're not very smart, but I'll tell you what is smart. But you notice, I mean, what she says there is not just stupid, by the way, it's despicable. When she says the Holocaust is basically just flatten it out, it's just about man's inhumanity and man. It's like just when the...
All right, folks, you thought Ben was on fire before? Well, he just poured gasoline on that blaze. The View hosts were about to get a lesson they'd never forget. Ben started dropping facts like they were hot potatoes. The hosts looked more confused than Trump trying to read a teleprompter. You could almost see the gears grinding in their heads, trying to keep up with Shapiro's rapid-fire delivery.
And yes, anti-Semitism is different. And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God. She is so stupid.
Do her words resonate with you at all?
Because you're a black person? This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust.
Joy Behar, bless her heart, tried to jump in, but Ben was like a verbal ninja, dodging her interruptions and landing zingers left and right. It was like watching a master chef slice and dice while the sous chefs stood there with their jaws on the floor. The audience was getting antsy. You could hear the gasps and oh snaps echoing through the studio. It was like watching a tennis match, but instead of balls, facts were flying back and forth. And let's just say, the View hosts weren't exactly winning this game. Ben pulled out stats and quotes these ladies had never heard of. It was like he'd swallowed a whole library and was regurgitating it on national TV.
Genius, Whoopi Goldberg.
No way. Do any of you men have any eggs? Or
The Miss Universe pageant on Sunday, the winner, Sosi Bini Tunzi. I said that right?
I don't know.
the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea.
The hosts were looking at their notes, at each other, anywhere but at Ben. It was getting so awkward, you could practically hear the crickets chirping in the background. But here's where it got really juicy. Ben dropped a bombshell that made the audience gasp louder than when they found out covfefe wasn't a real word. He exposed the View's biased reporting using their own words. It was like watching someone get pantsed on national TV, but instead of underwear, we saw the View's true colors.
Fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you do.
My problem comes when you tell me.
If that is the new standard, how about women who are postmenopausal? Whoopi Goldberg? Okay, so I have a few questions many questions on this, as it turns out. First,
transphobia.
As Ben wrapped up his point, you could practically see the hosts' egos deflating like old balloons. It was like watching a bunch of kids realizing Santa isn't real. Their whole worldview was crumbling before our eyes. Well, folks, it looks like Ben Shapiro just gave The View a masterclass in how to debate. Our boy Ben didn't just win an argument, he took the whole dang panel to school on national TV.
I can have an opinion on what a fetus would think, because I was once. Can't be men, and some men can't be women. Are you saying that unless you have eggs, you're not a woman? Is that what you're saying, Whoopi Goldberg?
Talk about a plot twist. Those hosts thought they were in for a simple chat, but Shapiro turned it into a full-on fact fest. Next time you see Ben pop up on a talk show, you might want to grab some popcorn and settle in. It's bound to be quite the show. Just imagine those poor hosts' faces when Ben starts spitting facts faster than a rapper at a freestyle battle. Remember, folks, facts don't care about your feelings, but boy oh boy, can they leave a mark. It's like watching a verbal boxing match, where one guy brought facts and the other side just brought, well, feelings. Poor View hosts. Maybe next time they'll come prepared with some actual research instead of just hot air.